Is homesteading a slow and simple life? I've been asking myself this question a lot lately. Does the pursuit of more really lead to a simple life? Every crop, every animal, every device or gadget comes with the hope of a self-sufficiency we were never meant to attain. And each thing we do obtain is another thing we have to steward. I have had to reevaluate the homestead life that we are living. A large garden big enough to feed multiple families, an orchard, a milk cow, a large flock of chickens, a rotation of meat birds, was a lot to manage. All it took was one major life event that turned our world upside down, and I was greeted with the reality that I can't do it all, nor should I. I have a baby that requires a lot of my care and 3 older children who need their mother just as much. So let's start with the chickens. We have our flock of chickens that we share with our cousins. However, we decided to start a small flock of only 5 chickens up at the house. Now, I know this doesn't exactly seem like downsizing since we added 2, but having a small flock of chickens close to the house has been great. They eat the garden scraps, they eat food scraps, and it will just give us, I think it'll put us to where we can have enough eggs every week and I won't have to supplement with the grocery store. So while that wasn't technically downsizing, having something up by the house that eats all of our food scraps has been a great addition. Really, the kids are in charge of the chickens. They take care of feeding them, watering them, checking on them throughout the day. Obviously, my husband and I still oversee it, but it's something that we can be pretty hands-off with. Okay, so next is the garden. And if you've been here for any length of time, you probably know I love the garden. That's my favorite part about homesteading. Really, it was my gateway, if you will, to homesteading. I started with a very small garden. And over time, like anything, it's grown. And last year we had a humongous garden. It was probably enough to comfortably feed 3 families. I found myself pregnant and very sick and couldn't maintain it. My friends, bless their hearts, came to my rescue a few times and helped me through that season. But after having Noah and all that we went through, I knew I needed to downsize this part of the homestead. Now, I still have my big garden, which is on the opposite end of the property, but it's only being used for like crops that don't require, like a plant it and forget it, like our potatoes, our corn. I have some flowers. I let volunteer cherry tomatoes go in a few spots. So it has a plan and a purpose for the future, just not in this season. And being that we still need a garden, we put one up here at the house. That was my husband's Mother's Day gift to me. So he and the boys worked hard and put a small garden up here. And really, it's been enough. We're eating fresh vegetables from it. I was able to preserve some tomatoes already. We're getting plenty of herbs. I have 6 4x8 beds and then a long run of hog panel for tomatoes. I have flowers planted throughout, tomatillos. I've had peppers. It's been great. It's been more than enough for this season of life. I love that I can be rocking my baby on the porch or helping my kids with their schoolwork and we drinking coffee with my husband, and we are able to watch the garden grow right out of our front door. Does this life hold a beauty and simplicity to it? Absolutely, but we can't take away from the fact or be blinded by what we see online. to the realization that this is a lot of work and it requires a lot of time, energy, and resources. Is it worth it? 1000%. There is nothing better than fresh vegetables and milk straight from the cow. I am convinced. But if we're not careful, what was started to be a thing of beauty and simplicity can lead quickly to overwhelm. And I believe that is where I have found myself in this season of life. This then can lead to burnout, overwhelm, and eventually resentment and not wanting to do it at all. So I really want to take this time to encourage everybody, if you're out there homesteading or you're considering getting into this, evaluate your priorities, evaluate like what you really need, and start there and maybe stay there. Add slowly. Maybe if you're going to add something, take away something. I went with a smaller garden, but that gives maybe the ability to have a few more chickens. So it's all about finding a balance in this life. So that is going to lead me to the cows. This is going to be the hardest part of this video for me. We made the decision to sell the cows. And that decision did not come lightly. This was over a period of months that I wrestled with this. I prayed about it. And at the end of the day, I had to prioritize my family. And the whole reason I got cows was because I wanted to prioritize my family. I wanted to give them the best there was out there. And for a season, that was great. But number one, the cows are not on our land, or they were not on our land. In order to get them to our land off of our family's land, which, required me loading up the kids, driving down the street, getting somebody to watch the kids, especially if my husband wasn't available, meant we had to put in a pasture. We have a lot of woods. That requires time, money, traco rental, resources, people. Really, it just came down to we're not able to put all of that into a pasture right now. At the time of purchasing them, we didn't think that this would be, a big deal. We didn't know we would be where we are today, and that's totally okay. Honey is at the point where she needs to start being weaned off of her mama, which requires more milking time and in leading to more milk to have to process or find a home for. And it's just not something I am set up to do in this season. Ruthie and the baby have gone to a fantastic home. I personally know them. We are friends, and I get pictures and updates and talk to them regularly about how they are doing, and they're doing absolutely wonderful. They have everything that they need, and it's just so good. Maple is still looking for her forever home, and I am confident that she is going to find it. So that is where we are right now. Stay tuned, because I'm going to be showing what we're doing next and how this all kind of ties into simplifying our homestead without giving up what is important to us, and that is good quality food. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Lord bless and keep you. Until next time.